For the first time since the euro's inception nearly 2 decades ago, the euro and the US dollar are trading at a 1-to-1 exchange rate. The euro has been losing ground against the dollar since the beginning of the year, when it was hovering near $1.13, owing to the US Federal Reserve's aggressive inflation fighting campaign, as well as broader global disruptions caused by the ongoing war. According to Google, or as you can see on the screen, they already reached parity. The stronger dollar is good news for Americans planning a trip to Europe or purchasing goods abroad. It has the potential to lower commodity prices, such as grain, and thus assist in reducing the relentless inflation that has sent household and business expenses skyrocketing. However, experts believe the euro's decline indicates a slowing of global trade, which adds to recession fears. But now, the question, why is the euro losing against the dollar? It's a combination of factors, the most prominent of which is the war. The conflict disrupted food supplies and sent global energy prices soaring, particularly in the European Union, where many countries rely heavily on Russian fossil fuel imports. The European Union moved to wean itself of Russian oil as part of a pressure campaign against its eastern neighbor, while Moscow sharply reduced gas flows. This increased the costs for Europeans who were already reeling from the disease outbreak. In the United States, the Federal Reserve has been aggressively raising interest rates, pushing treasury bond yields higher and making the dollar more appealing to investors than the euro. America's central bank raised rates 3 times in 2022 and has indicated that 4 more increases are planned as part of its strategy to control inflation. The European Central Bank is also expected to raise rates to bring inflation back to the 2% target, but at a slower pace than the US. It has penciled in a 0.25 percentage point hike for July, while the Fed is widely expected to hike rates by 0.75 percentage point as it did in June. The dollar is regarded as a safe haven, and its value has risen as investors navigate an uncertain economic landscape in Europe and elsewhere. We expect the dollar to continue to benefit from its status as a safe haven for international investors and commercial interests, especially given Europe's more precarious economic position. RSM chief economist Joe Bruselas wrote in late April as the dollar gained value. And now, what does parity mean for the euro? Despite the reservations, some analysts characterize the euro-dollar parity as a psychological milestone that would not necessarily be a watershed moment for the currency, which was already well off its 2008 peak near $1.60. Still, it is worth expecting that Europe will no longer get away with soft market reassurances and modest actions, so the pressure on the single currency may persist for the foreseeable future, said Alex Kupcekovic, senior market analyst at foreign currency trader FX Pro. He noted that central banks and policymakers on the continent will be forced to respond to depreciation worries. The psychological impact is clearly important, and investors will be focused on the market flows and liquidity, according to Deutsche Bank research analysis, which said it did not expect an unusual risk profile as a result of the parity. So, what does all of this mean for companies and consumers? Currency fluctuations can have a significant impact on businesses that sell their products internationally or rely on foreign raw materials to manufacture them. It can also affect the price of commodities with a direct line to consumers, such as grain. Businesses in Europe that sell their products abroad may find that a weaker currency makes their exports more appealing because the buyer's currency is more valuable in comparison. However, any gains in exports could be offset by rising inflation in the Eurozone's 19 member countries, making imported goods and raw materials more expensive. Depending on the mix of imports and exports, fluctuating exchange rates could result in winners and losers. Some experts interpret the weaker currency as a sign of Europe's economic slowdown. It's becoming increasingly clear that the Eurozone is heading into recession, Robin Brooks, chief economist at the Institute of International Finance, said in a tweet. A stronger dollar presents a new set of problems and opportunities in the United States. Because foreign buyers' purchasing power is weakened, it could harm American exports abroad. Comerica Wealth Management Chief Investment Officer John Lynch said in a note that it will also affect currency translations on repatriated profits for US multinationals. Commodities such as grain and industrial-grade metals have recently become more expensive, but a stronger dollar may help keep prices in check, according to Jay Hatfield, CEO of Infrastructure Capital Management. The strong dollar lowers global commodity prices, because most commodities are priced in dollars, Hatfield wrote that in a note. We expect inflation to begin falling significantly in the fall as commodity prices are reflected in price indices. And what does euro-dollar exchange rates mean for travelers? Traveling abroad and spending in US dollars will become more expensive for Europeans and people earning in euros. For Americans who consider Europe to be a popular travel destination, the near 1-to-1 ratio means they will not only have an easier time deciphering prices, but will also have more spending power when visiting Eurozone countries such as France, Germany, Spain, Italy, and Greece. Currency dynamics may also benefit Americans traveling outside of the Eurozone. Over the last month, the US dollar has gained ground against the Mexican peso, the Canadian and Australian dollars, and the South Korean won. So that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what do you think about the situation. Do you think the euro will be more valuable again against the dollar, or do you think it will stay that way? And again, here you will see some videos which may interest you, and if that's the case, just watch them and let me know your opinion about my videos overall. And again, thanks for watching and see you in the next one.